Power for EV1 and EV2 are on.
The first American woman to walk in space.
EVA is a NASA acronym that stands for the big word extravehicular activity, which in turn stands for a spacewalk, basically. And in the shuttle program, we have a new spacesuit that was specifically designed for the sorts of work we envision ourselves doing from shuttle. The total ensemble weighs on the order of 225 pounds. We wear a liquid cooling garment, which is like a set of nylon long underwear with fine little water tubes running everywhere through it. We squirm up into what we call a hut, or hard upper torso, and that's like having an old breastplate of armor on, only now it's fiberglass molded to fit the human torso. And that's the hard shell that we've mounted the pumps and tanks to, and that we've mounted the bearings and joints that allow your arms to move to. The next thing you put on is the little communications cap, over which you put the helmet, which seals around your head. What you need for zero-G is a nice dexterous set of gloves that give you fairly good feel on the fingertips and isn't too hard to move, and a lot of mobility of your upper arms and upper body. The shuttle suit is designed with those things in mind. A large backpack that contains several oxygen and water tanks. The water tanks provide you cooling, and the oxygen tanks provide you both the pressure in the suit and the clear gas, the clean gas to breathe. And a set of fans and motors and so forth, obviously, to pump all those things around so you have fresh air and cool water. Working in the suit in 1G here on Earth is very different than it is in 0G. And some of our training involves actually walking in the suit in vacuum chambers with all the air pumped out at vacuum so that you can get a feel for how well the cooling system will take the heat that you're generating as you do exercise. And you actually walk on a treadmill, which is a very ungainly thing to do in that suit. You're in a machine, and that's where you want to be because the machine's giving you all the things you need to live in a vacuum. But you're in a machine that has fans and water and air circulating around, and it's got a big hard part to it that you can bang against if you start rattling around. And so in 1G, it's a fairly cumbersome thing to use.
The best place to practice maneuvering with the suit is underwater, where the effect of gravity is lessened. In this building, there is a full-size mock-up of the shuttle's cargo bay at the bottom of a pool.
The water tank training that we do here in Houston for each flight is really about as good as you can get. There are a lot of factors that are not realistic for actual work in space. The fluid dynamics of moving you in a spacesuit through something as viscous as water as compared to moving through the vacuum of space, of course, means that for anything that you're trying to do, the forces you have to exert are a lot higher in the pool than they'll be on orbit.
These million-dollar suits are so heavy when fully assembled, the astronauts can only hang on a rack. But despite the suit's overall weight, smaller weights are balanced strategically on the legs and arms. The weights keep the astronauts from floating to the surface when in position underwater. Properly balanced, the astronauts are slowly lowered to the bottom, where they are assisted by scuba divers. For their mission, Sullivan and Leetsma worked on a prototype of a satellite refueling system placed in the shuttle's cargo bay. The goal of their planned EVA was to demonstrate they could pump highly unstable hydrazine fuel from the shuttle to a simulated satellite, and to prove that satellites not designed for refueling could, with the proper hoses and clamps, be refitted and refueled. They practiced intensively.
Trying to get the suit on in the K-Bird is one of those cases where you're not in 0G. The K-Bird is fooling you. You're not really practicing in 0G. You're practicing in 30 seconds on. It can go pretty smoothly sometimes. It's usually a little bit uncomfortable and sometimes close to dangerous because the suit still weighs 225 pounds, and when you pull out at the bottom, it weighs twice that. And it takes several people to help you out and keep an eye on things to make sure that you don't get stuck somewhere coming out of your 30 seconds of 0G with an arm caught under the suit, or partway into the upper torso and about to get one of the ribs pushed down on your body somewhere.
Getting out of the suit, even with assistance, is no easy feat.
The hatch is closed and locked, and the lock latch is indicating locked.